Hello there. In this starting video, we're going to be going through the process of importing, placing, setting up and fixturing our working piece and final part model. And we're going to do so using this Micron VCE 600 Pro milling machine. It's just a 3-axis machine to try and keep things simple for us. So to start with, we're going to go into the Model tab, and we're going to make sure that we've got the part folder highlighted because that's where we want to import our part to. And I'm going to click on the import button, and on my desktop here there is part.igs, which is the file that we're importing. And as we can see, we've now imported the part. There's a few interesting features on there, nothing too horrifically challenging, just enough to give us a bit to work with and a bit to understand. And it gives us enough flexibility to use a range of different operations just to get the best feel for the workflow in ENCY. So now that we've imported this, we're going to go back to the machining tab because we now need to take a look at setting up some fixturing for it, and then setting up the workpiece definition, which is the material stocks functionally, and making sure that we've got our G54 datum set in the correct position. So we'll start with the fixturing. So to do so, we're going to go to the inspector tabs here, and we're going to click on fixtures. Now we've got a few options here. We can add, chuck, vise, clamp, all that sort of stuff, but these require that we set everything manually. What we can also do is we can shortcut that, which is what we're going to do for this instance. We're going to click on the load button with the drop down here, and we're going to grab the examples vise 66 by 82 MCP file. This is a 66 by 82 machine vise. It's quite a nice size for what we need. And if we click on it now, we can see how it automatically defaults to coming in at the center of the work table. It's aligned quite neatly with the T-slots as well, so we don't need to do anything to shift it. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that there right now. That fits for our needs. So the next thing that we're going to do now is we are going to take a look at the workpiece surrounding our part. So we are now going to move over to the workpiece inspector, and I'm going to click on primitive here. So as I say, we've still got all these options here, but for now we're just going to draw a cuboid around our part. There's already one by default, but we want to make it a couple of millimeters thicker because we're going to be facing it off. So I'm going to click on primitive now, and we've got box as a standard definition. Ordinarily, same stock is turned on. This means that any value that you put in is going to be repeated in every single direction. We're going to turn that off, and we're going to add 2 in negative Z and 2 in positive Z, and then click add. So we'll now close that, and we can see by the shadow here there is a slight increase in the thickness of this, but we are now going to be bringing this up to where we need it to be, and we're going to be setting the workpiece coordinates and the system and everything like that as well. So to do so, we're going to click on setup, and we're going to click on workpiece setup, and then we're going to click on the 3 dots here. Okay, now doing so allows us to define all of these things either with vector or coordinate data, or we can also grab the various arrows that are highlighted here as well, which is what I'm going to do for this. So I'm going to grab this blue arrow here, and we're going to drag it vertically in Z. Now, ideally, what I'd like to do is I'd like for the vice jaws to be gripping this highlighted face around the edge of the workpiece. So we're going to need to change our view because we don't know the exact numerical value of that right now. So I'm going to use the navigation cube down here, and I'm going to click on front so we can see stuff a bit more clearly. Then I'm going to zoom in, and I am going to drag this vertically until that's clearly, the edge of this face is clearly above the edge of the vise. Now 116.4 is a bit of an awkward number to remember, so I'm going to bring that down to 116. As we can see, there's not a huge amount of space here, but to reference the very old machinist adage, clearance is clearance, and that will give us just enough space to make sure that we don't hit the top of the vise when we're facing that off. So I'm going to click on OK now. I'm quite happy with where that is. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to click on workpiece coordinate system here, and I am going to grab that G54 sensor. Sorry, no, I'm going to click on this first. So we've got the little ellipsis here, which actually brings up what this is in terms of its numerical values. I'm going to grab that little marker and I'm going to drag this over to the bottom left corner, but we can see we've got a bit of a problem because it's not snapping. I'd quite like it to snap. So in order to get the best results, I'm going to cancel out of this and I'm going to turn on Smart Snap. Okay, so now I'm going to go back into this and I'm going to grab the datum point again, and you can see how it's automatically sort of dragging its way towards various points along its path, but we want it to be in that top left corner there. Okay, so we can see now that the offset is -75, -50 and +2, which pretty much lines up with a 150 by 100 millimeter workpiece, where the thickness has been brought up by 2 above 0, so that suits what we're expecting. So we're now going to click on OK. That's pretty much good to go. The only other thing that really remains to do at the moment is, it's a little bit fussy, but there is reason to it. I'm going to grab this vise jaw and I'm just going to bring it up so it snaps against the side of the workpiece. Now, ordinarily that might seem like window dressing, but the reason for it is ENCY calculates the kinematics of the entire machine whenever it's running a simulation or whenever it's running a toolpath. And by placing the vise jaw in the correct place, it allows ENCY to be able to accurately determine motions around that vise jaw so as to not impact it. Obviously, were that not in the correct place and ENCY decided that it was going to put a transitional path through where the jaw actually is, this would be an expensive problem. So it's always best to get everything to correspond to reality just as much as possible. This is standard good practice in any CAM programming environment, and it's not something specific to ENCY. However, going back to the original point, we now have our workpiece mounted up on the table and currently secured and ready to go with our G54 datum point happily defined. So in the next video, we're going to take a look at some initial machining processes, and we're also going to look at importing tool tables as well. So I shall see you in the next one.